Spooky Movie Tuesday.
Welcome to that Spooky Movie Tuesdays, where we find a scary movie you should watch. This week's spooky movie that you should watch is VHS. Yeah, not the second one, but the first one. I've watched the second one. It is not as good as the first one. So if you have not watched the first version of VHS, the scary movie, then please do so. It gets a 5.8 out of 10 rating from International Movie Database and 55% at Metacritic website. So let's see what the video is all about, what this movie is all about.
Okay, here's the deal. We gotta break into this house, and all we have to do is steal this one VHS tape.
Which one is it?
I don't know, man. Let's just
Look at these tape.
What's so special about this tape anyway?
I like you.
So the reason why I believe you should watch this movie is because VHS, the first one, is very original and it's got very creepy clips because it's basically a combination of lots of recordings put on a VHS tape and someone's watching that. So basically, if you want to see something new, something different, and you haven't watched VHS, the first one, before, then I definitely, support that you should do that if you like scary movies. And yeah, like I said before, is I don't like the new VHS 2. It's really corny. It's really it's got a very weak storyline. It's everything that the first one isn't, and the first one is original. It's perfect. So if you're gonna watch the second one, and judge the first one by watching the second one, then you would be wrong. So not to deter you from watching the second one, I'm saying that if you watch the first one, you will at least appreciate VHS for what it is. The second one, you might not feel the same way. So that's my take on VHS. And as always, remember to leave your comments in the comment section and let me know if you agree or disagree and why. If you have recommendations, you know where to add them below this video. As you also know, we do a creepy fact every Tuesday, and today our creepy fact to complete the Spooky Movie Tuesdays is the Pollock twins. In 1957, 11-year-old Joanna and 6-year-old Jacqueline Pollock were tragically killed in a car accident in Northumberland, England. They were sisters. A year later, their mother gave birth to twins, Jennifer and Gillian. The younger twin, Jennifer, had birthmarks on her body in exactly the same place as Jacqueline had them. The twins then started requesting toys belonging to the deceased children, which they had no prior knowledge of. The twins even asked to go to a park they have never been to before, but their deceased sisters have. A well-respected psychologist at the time, one Dr. Ian Stevenson, studied the case in depth and concluded it was likely the twins were reincarnations of their departed sisters. So there's some creepy facts for you today.
He struck John Pollock and his family. His 2 daughters and a friend were killed by a car on their way to church. Jacqueline was 6 and Joanna 11 when they died, but John Pollock did not despair while Hexam grieved. He believed that his wife would conceive twins, that the girls would be reborn.
From the moment I knew she was pregnant, I believed that the girls would come back.
And against all the doctor's predictions, Florence Pollock did produce twin girls.
The first thing I noticed when I saw those twins was, we hadn't named them then, but the younger one of the 2 had a scar coming across her forehead down onto the bridge of her nose, which was the identical scar that Jacqueline, the younger one of the girls that had been killed, had when she fell off a little tricycle when she was about 2 years old. Also, I didn't see at the time, but later, my wife said to me, it's an incredible thing, but she's also got the birthmark on her left hip that Jacqueline had. Jacqueline had a birthmark on her left hip, which was like a brown thumbprint.
To this day, Jennifer still has that brown birthmark. Mrs. Pollock was astonished when she gave the twins the dead girls' dolls.
When I got these 2 dolls out, one said, oh, that's Mary and that's Susan. And it was exactly the same names as my other daughters had named them. And that was the sort of really turning point in my way of thinking.
The family had moved away after the tragedy, but on their first visit to Hexham, the twins seemed to remember the landmarks.
Well, when we came at the top of Battle Hill, they came over the brow, approaching St Mary's Church, which they couldn't see. One turned to the other and said, well, the school's around here, which we used to go to, and the playground's round the back. Now, they couldn't possibly have seen any sign of a school or a church even. I mean, they were so small they couldn't even have seen over the wall. And sure enough, I mean, the school is round the corner. And this was the most incredible thing. And we continued to walk on. I mean, we were absolutely amazed at this. And as we came past the church, on the opposite side of the road is Hexham Abbey and the Abbey grounds. And one turned and said, oh, the playground's over there.
And she was right. The playground was over there, but they couldn't see it from where they were standing because the brow of the hill was in the way. So convinced were the Pollocks that their daughters had been reborn, that even the children's grave no longer held any sorrow for them.
There's a grave there, but it means nothing. To me, to bring flowers or anything on the grave would be sheer hypocrisy, because I don't believe that they're here. I mean, it's just a symbol of two girls that lived that were reborn.
That is a real fact for you on this Tuesday, and I hope I will see you soon on the next Spooky Movie Tuesdays, every Tuesdays. Ciao for now. Thank you for watching. If you like my video, why don't you subscribe?